The day Britain and France declared war on Germany, September 3, 1939. When Britain and France declared war on Germany on September 3, 1939, it was a moment the world had feared but hoped would never come. It marked the official beginning of World War II in Western Europe, but the story leading to that announcement was filled with hesitation, miscalculation, broken promises, and a frightening realization. Diplomacy had failed, and nothing but war was left. This declaration didn't come out of nowhere. It was the product of 6 years of German expansion, ignored warnings, and a final invasion that Britain and France could not overlook, even if they were painfully unprepared for what would follow. The path to a breaking point. The roots of the war trace back to Adolf Hitler's rise to power in 1933. From the moment the Nazi Party took control, Germany began rearming, violating the Treaty of Versailles. At first, Europe's major powers hesitated to intervene. They hoped appeasement, giving Hitler what he wanted, would prevent another war. But Hitler's ambitions grew. 1936, remilitarization of the Rhineland. 1938, annexation of Austria. 1938, Sudetenland crisis. 1939, occupation of Czechoslovakia. Each time, Britain and France complained, threatened, negotiated, but never acted. But when Hitler set his sights on Poland, the situation changed. The Polish guarantee, a line in the sand. In March 1939, after Hitler absorbed Czechoslovakia, Britain and France realized that Hitler would not stop voluntarily. They issued guarantees to Poland, promising military support if Germany attacked. This was not just a diplomatic gesture. It was a boundary, the kind Britain and France could not retreat from without sacrificing all credibility. But Hitler didn't believe them. September 1, 1939, Poland is invaded. At 4:45 a.m., German forces launched a full-scale invasion of Poland using blitzkrieg, fast-moving tanks, aircraft, and mechanized infantry striking with overwhelming speed. Within hours, the Polish frontier collapsed in multiple sectors. News reached London and Paris almost instantly. Britain and France had to fulfill their promise, but both governments hesitated. Declaring war was easy, fighting it was not. Neither nation was fully ready. Their armies needed more time, more equipment, more preparation. Yet backing down would mean surrendering Europe to Hitler. Diplomacy's last breath. On September 1st and 2nd, frantic diplomatic messages were sent between London, Paris, and Berlin. Britain demanded that Germany withdraw from Poland immediately. France echoed the same demand. Hitler ignored the ultimatums. He expected once again that the Allies would shout, but not fight. Britain gave a final deadline. Withdraw your troops from Poland by 11 a.m. on September 3rd, or we declare war. The deadline passed. Germany remained silent. 11:15 a.m. British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain addressed the nation in a calm, heavy voice. This country is at war with Germany. Millions of people sat in silence, listening to a moment that would reshape the century. For many, it was déjà vu, a repeat of 1914, another generation sent toward uncertainty. Sirens did not immediately sound. Bombs did not fall on London that day, but the emotional weight was enormous. Families knew life had changed forever. France follows hours later. After its own ultimatum expired, France declared war on Germany. Paris, like London, was quiet. People expected German bombers to appear in the sky at any moment. Instead, the Western Front remained calm. The phony war begins. Despite the dramatic declarations, nothing happened militarily in Western Europe for months. This period became known as the Phony War, a war without fighting. British and French soldiers deployed to the Maginot Line. They waited, they trained, they watched the German border. But no battles came. Meanwhile, Poland fought alone against overwhelming German and Soviet forces. Why the Allies declared war but did not attack? The reasons were complex. Britain and France were not yet militarily prepared. Their strategies were defensive, not offensive. They expected a long war, not a rapid attack. They underestimated Germany's ability to strike west quickly. But at least one thing was clear: the declarations were not symbolic. They were a commitment Britain and France could not escape. And Hitler now faced a two-front threat. A turning point in world history. September 3, 1939, became the day Europe stepped into a conflict that would last 6 brutal years. It marked the end of illusions, the end of the belief that Hitler could be negotiated with. It marked the moment two democracies decided that survival required sacrifice. From that day forward, the war grew into the largest conflict humanity had ever seen. And it all began with a microphone, 2 ultimatums, and a silence from Berlin that answered everything.